Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Well, good evening and welcome to the 2018 Festival of the Arts given by the Missouri Military Academy Fine Arts Department. This evening we've got a little bit of something for everyone, I hope. We've got some wind band music, jazz band, we've got the choir, we've even got some opera, and that's a little secret. That's not a little special treat. That's not on the program, but we're going to drop that in for you, give you a little treat there. And of course, not forgetting the wonderful art installation exhibition that our art teacher, Cheryl Morris, has put on. I think most of you have probably had a good chance to see that already, but if not, you can go and see that in the intermission, where we're going to have our Buskers Corner. Our Palacios and his friends are going to be entertaining you. Anyway, enough from me for now. We're going to get things underway by a piece by the pen of an Italian composer named Ottorino Respighi. He composed this in the early 1900s. We featured this in our military school band and choir festival, which took place here at MMA in February of this year. And the piece is a tone poem. It's a descriptive piece, and it starts off really, really quietly, which is unusual for a concert. I normally like to hit it loud and hard, but it's just one big build. Now, his idea of this piece was he wanted to depict the Roman legions marching into Rome at dawn. And it just builds and builds and builds as the legions march past, as they've been successful in battle. So we're going to try and bring that into MMA today. This is Ottorino Respighi's Pines of Rome. Thank you very much. Well, I hope that's warmed you up, certainly warmed us up. That was the Pines of Rome. We're going to carry on. We're just going to do one more piece for the high school band before we bring our middle school up and give you a chance to see what we've been doing in our fine arts middle school class. We're going to play a piece now. Just a quick story here. I may have said this before, but I'm going to say it again anyway for those that haven't heard it. One of our young cadets, Cadet Perez, Gabriel Perez, one of our staff members, I'm not going to tell you the whole story anyway. His grandmother donated a trumpet that used to belong to Perez's grandfather that we play in the band now. She came to the concert last year when we did Holst's first suite in E-flat, and she said that his favorite piece was the second suite in E-flat. So I promised that we would dig it out and do it this year. And we've been playing it, we played it for the Military School Band and Choir Festival. But that's with the mass bands of the national military schools that was sat on the stage. We're going to do that just our band this evening. We're only going to play one movement, and it's entitled March. Now, this is an absolute classic in the wind band repertoire. It's an iconic piece, and anybody who knows anything about wind band music will know a lot about the piece that we're just about to play. It's by English composer Gustav Holst. I know it doesn't sound very English, but I promise you he was English, perhaps more famous for his Planet Suite. It's the march from his second suite in F. Here we go. Thank you. Well, that was wonderful. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of culture there. You can say you heard Second Suite in F live by the MMA Academy Band. So on with the show. We're going to get Mrs. Cheryl Morris up. Where is Cheryl? Is she ready to go? Before we do that, in fact, Chandler, just quickly come to the front of the stage, just while I'm thinking about it. Off script. Here we go. Something I do often, for those that know me. So Chandler, did you hear the euphonium solo in that piece? Well, there was one, I can tell you. There was one. Young Chandler Bollinger has been here for the whole time that I've been here, and watching his progress has been absolutely fantastic. And you know, we expect very good things and wonderful things for Chandler. He was successful in getting in the all-district honourable mention band this year, which is no mean feat. And I don't think anyone from the school's done that for some time. I think Cadet Cardo did it maybe a while ago, but that really is a fantastic achievement. So please give your hand, show your appreciation, Chandler Bollinger. Well done, buddy. That's it. Off you go. He wants to stay and milk it. So over to Cheryl Morris. Please give Cheryl a wonderful round of applause.
Hello, everyone. I am thankful for you all coming this evening. I hope you enjoy the art show so far. It's been a brilliant year. A lot of talent, and it's been exciting to see it transfer into what we see tonight. Few thanks. I want to thank the maintenance crew for all they do throughout the year, and I want to thank especially Larry Anthony, who helped me get the show together. I couldn't have done it without him. I want to thank you also to my judges that came in. It's hard for me to judge a show because I see them throughout the year, the process of them making the pieces, so I actually have someone come over and judge the show separately. So, also, if you notice that this is our 100th year of World War I, and we have taken our pieces on the road. So we've actually been counting tonight 4 different locations. We did the military band and choir concert. We had a display there. The library, the local library, had a display over here in Mexico, and then also we took it down to the Maroon and Gold. So that has been a very exciting, and we learned so much. That was just a brilliant few weeks to learn about World War I. So I've got some awards to give this evening, and my first one is the Vincent van Gogh Art Award, and it's for the best in painting, and that goes to Namikaku Chengun. The Leonardo da Vinci Art Award for being a writer and an artist goes to Juan Cepeda. The Pablo Picasso Art Award for always working and improving goes to Shou Dong. The Norman Rockwell Art Award for the best in illustration skills goes to Mir Namadava. The Michelangelo Art Award for Best in Sculpture is awarded to Jackson Linville. The High School Graffiti Art Award is awarded to Christian Hollingsworth. I thought it was a requirement for these people to stay. They're all missing. The Best in Unconventional Materials Art Award is awarded to Jack Mitchell. Now, I usually tell little stories about some of my kids. This particular young man that's going to get the next award, he would do a project and he had extra time. Instead of like goofing off, he would just repeat the project and just try to improve himself. So he was always working, and I was really proud of him this year. The Heart and Soul High School Art Award is awarded to, for the most dedicated art student to projects, goes to Sean Hughes. Now, the next kid I've had, this is his third year, and I've seen a little bit of improvement throughout each year, but this year I said, "You've got to try harder." And he said, "I will do my best, ma'am, I promise." So the next award, Most Improved High School Artist Student Award, striving to be the best that I can be, goes to Alejandro Huerta. The Heart and Soul Middle School Art Award for Most Dedicated Art Student to Projects is Tiwan Ma. Sometimes art is not being the best, but keep on trying to improve yourself to be the best that you can be. So the next award goes to Most Improved Middle School Art Student Award, striving to be the best I can be, to Damian White. Just two more, I promise. The Henry Matisse Art Award, Middle School Best in Art, goes to Emiliano Chavez. Okay, so each year we do a theater project, and usually the kids blow me away with all the stuff. So we do it at the end of the year, or the end of the semester, so they take all the skills they've learned for those few months and apply it to this theater. So we encompass writing a play, doing the set, so they just end up so cute. Well, this year, there was a couple of guys, I would say, that were like an old married couple. They bickered and bickered every day. But they came up with the most brilliant theater, and they know who they are. In fact, when they show me it, I said, you got to show me again. So Kai and Tamir get the Leonardo da Vinci Award for Best in Engineering Technical Skills. The way this stage was set up, you drop down the seats, the rocket would shoot across, and then they could drop a flag. I mean, it was just, I don't know, the pulley system was so cool. So, on to the big awards. Okay. So, there's a couple awards that are really precious. So, the first one is the Most Creative Award. And I've had this kid for 3 years, he's senior this year, and a light bulb went on last fall to where he wasn't afraid to try anything, he wanted to experiment with stuff, and we just kept going for it. It's like, I have this idea, and I said, okay, let's do it. So, the Most Creative Art Award for the plaque, it goes to Chengun. When you're watching kids through their process and trying to digest what is actually being thrown at them, it's neat to see that they take their time, they're striving, and to do their very best. And I feel like this young man worked hard to do his very best in whatever he tried to do. So the Art Achievement Award goes to Zenhan Zhu. The Junior School Art Achievement Award, and this young man spent lots of extra hours in my room, Alejandro Rodriguez. This is my last award, last but not least. This is my 4th year teaching, and this young man I've had all 4 years. So I've grown as a teacher, and he's grown as an artist and an exceptional young man. So this next award goes to Juan Cepeda. Senior Award for Portfolio Achievement. Now, that is all the awards. I do want to let you know that we'll have it at halftime or whatever, intermission, thank you, not halftime, I have a sports thing. And then after it's all over with, I'll have it open for a little while. The artwork is for sale, and there are some people that have come up to me and have been interested in it, so just come up to me later and we'll figure out some things. Thanks so much.
Great job, well done. Okay, we're going to continue the show now with Middle School Fine Arts Music Band Program. Just before I do that, just one more round of applause for wonderful Cheryl Moore. She does a fantastic job. She raises the bar year in, year out with that show. It really is something quite special. Well done, Cheryl. Anyway, on with the Middle School Fine Arts Band is here. Just a little bit about the program that we've got going here at the school. We make all the middle school students play an instrument. Even Mr. Some of them are more happy to do that than others, but that's fine. You know, people need to find their niche, but we make them do music, and they do enjoy the concert, I'm sure. These guys have only been playing 1 year, most of them. Some of them, you might notice a few ringers in here, but for the most part, we've been playing their instruments that they're on tonight for 1 year. Anyway, without further ado, the conductor for this part, my friend and colleague and choir director, jazz extraordinaire, Mr. Rob McGrath.
Thank you very much. That was a tune called Ye Banks and Buddies of Bonnie Doon, and it's a Scottish folk tune. It's based on a poem by Robert Burns. So now we're going to finish with a well-known overture. You will all know this, hopefully. And it's written by Gioacchino Rossini, the great Italian operatic composer. He actually composed this when he lived in France. And in French it's Guillaume Tell, and you'll know it as William Tell.
Hello. So once more, let's hear it for our middle school band. They were great, weren't they? A lot of spirit in that performance. Spirited performance. Go on, Derek, give us a smile. Nope. Okay. He enjoyed it. Sat up there listening to Palacios. We'll get him. Don't worry, we'll get him. Hopefully we'll see a lot of these guys in the academy band, or certainly the prep band next year. 4 or 5 of them, I think you noticed already, are already progressed into the high school band. They've done so well. Just want to give a shout out to our flute player for his solo in Bonnie Doon, Kevith Sangster. Fantastic. Good job, Kevith. He really has been a success story in our music program. He came at the beginning of the year, and he's in our high school band now. He plays flute in our high school band. He also sings in our choir. You're going to get to see that in a bit. Okay, to take us up to the interval, we've got 2 choir pieces. During the interval, as I mentioned earlier, go and see the art exhibition. If you hadn't seen it already, it's wonderful. Go and see it. If you've seen it already, go and see it again, and you'll get to hear some of the music. It's Palacios and Friends, we're going to call them. He keeps pulling these people in. Play, I want to sing. You play and I'll sing. So that's great. So anyway, choir. We're going to finish with the choir. It's a little bit unusual, but I'm going to hand you over to Rob now, and he's going to tell you a little bit about that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for our first piece, we're going to go all swashbuckling, and we're going to sing a song that we learned at the beginning of the year, and it's called Bound for the Rio Grande, or how we say it is Rio Grande, because that's how the sailors would say it. Now, you may think the Rio Grande is the river that runs in Texas to Mexico. Well, it is, but this is the different Rio Grande. This is the Rio Grande do Sul in the south of Brazil, and the tall ships would have to sail around the Cape, and they would take on damage, the sails would break, they'd hit icebergs, things like that. So they'd then sail into port, into the Rio Grande, to get the ships repaired and take on fresh fruit and water. So this is our sea shanty, Bound for the Rio Grande. For our last tune we're going to sing, part of our school motto is love, honor, and truth. So I thought this would be totally appropriate. It's a little bit of fun. We enjoy singing it, and it's called Sing Love, and it's a South African celebration of apartheid. When all that had finished, it was a celebration of that. Nelson Mandela. Lady Blacksmith Mambazo sang this song, and it's called Sing Love. I've just been told I've got to do the vocal awards right now. Okay. So, can I have the other one first? The other one first. Okay, so this award is for Outstanding First Year of Men's Chorus. So I've awarded this to a young man who joined the choir this year, and we threw him right into the deep end at Evensong, and he sung once in Royal David City, the desk camp high, which is super, super high. So it had to be a middle schooler that could sing that. So this award goes to Michael Mashari-Pagan. Okay, so now the final choir award, outstanding contribution to the MMA chorus. Now this boy's been in the choir for 2 years. He could have easily won this last year, but there was someone, last year there was somebody else. This year, he really, really deserves it. He's a really great singer. You've heard him earlier. He was been singing up in the mezzanine up there, and he goes to Itael Palacios. Okay, sing, love.
Feel it in your
Bradford Wright on the piano as well, please. Okay, it's now intermission. Thank you. Thomas Keeper. Okay, that featured Thomas Kiefer on the flute. He actually improvised that solo. He didn't read it written down. He improvised that. Mitchell Doing on the trumpet. Major Shoemaker on the piano. And also our New Orleans little marching band that came through. I thought that was really good. Well done, boys. Okay, so we're going to go a bit local now. We're going to play a tune written by William Handy. He lived in Memphis, Tennessee. And he wrote this tune, and it's a jazz standard. Glenn Miller's covered it. I think every jazz musician on the planet's covered this song. And it's called St. Louis Blues. Thank you very much. So that featured Robert Abbott, down in Abbott on the tenor saxophone, and Parker Erie on the trumpet. So we come to that part of the show now where I got to award the Jazz Award. So this award goes to a cadet who is going to play 2 solos tonight. He's already played one of them. The next solo he's going to play is arguably the most iconic trumpet solo written in the Glenn Miller Orchestra and in the Dance Band Library. So this award for this year goes to our trumpet player, our second trumpet player, Mr. Parker Yeary. So I mentioned the trumpet solo, and I mentioned it was written by, it was played by the Glenn Miller Band. It was actually written by Joe Garland, and it's a really, really world-famous tune, and it's called, you'll all know it, it's called In the Mood.
So, if you haven't already got the message, we are marking 100 years from the First World War, 1918. We focused our whole concert in the military school around that. And for those that don't know anything about that festival, we hosted it for the first time in its 42 years. And our school won the best prepared school for the first time ever. So we are the best military school in the United States. Music, the band. Yeah, I thought so as well. The lads did so well. Now, what we've started is the opportunity for musicians to be awarded the M. And I'll just show you what that looks like. It's like an M, obviously. But in the middle, there's a lyre, a musical lyre. Now, the criteria for winning the letter M in the Fine Arts Department is participation in the Military School Festival. It's something that I introduced a couple of years ago. Now, the criteria for that is they need to audition when they attend that festival. So they need to learn scales, they need to do sight reading and prepared piece. So it's an audition in front of a visiting band director, and it's a blind audition, so there's no contact, and it's very nerve-wracking. And a number of our guys got first chair. That determines who gets the first chair placements, that audition, which takes place in the morning. Am I making sense? Shall I just stop talking? Hang on. Now, quickly, I'm not going to get everybody up here to present the M Award, because there's quite a few. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to announce their names. If we could have the house lights up, please, David, Mr. Wilkins. And I'm just going to rattle through the names. If you stand up, save your applause for the end. There's two lots of applause. First applause goes to the guys that came first, got their first chair. So the first person is Dong Yan Chen. He is officially the #1 clarinetist in the military school, high schools in the United States of America. Please stand up, Chen. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. We'll be here all night. The second one is Rong Yang Yi on tenor sax. He got first chair. Chandler Bollinger, of course, on the baritone. Please stand up. Clifton Klein on percussion. They're all stood up. Clifton, give him a wave. Which one's Clifton? There's Clifton. These guys were all awarded first chair, and Obi Aberavu, Amina Aberavu, who's not here today. But please, that was a real achievement. Let's show our appreciation for these guys first. Stay stood up. Oh, and sorry, Mr. Huckins, he was awarded first chair for the bass in the choir. Where's Mr. Tom? Where's Mr. Huckins? Is he? He's backstage. We'll recognize him when he comes out. But the choir, they have their awards at the end. He was awarded the gold medal for that. Gaining in the letter M, Thomas Kiefer, please stand. Chen, you stay stood up. Downing Abbott, Akele Carpentier, Billy English, Zeth Collin, Mitchell Dewing, Chandler Kreitziger, Shane Macon, Parker Yeary, Chandler's already stood up. Malachi Grice, Diego Lopez, Cole Miracle, Clifton Klein, Omina Beravu, Colin Eastman, Paul Murphy, Christian Foster. These are the choir guys now. Christian Foster. Christian's also in the band. Multi-talented, and he's a really good artist. Michael Machari-Pagan. Itiel Palacios, who you've heard a lot of. Wu, Cadet Wu. I'm not going to try and pronounce the first name. Oicheng. I probably made a mess of that. I'm sorry, Mr. Wu. He's huge. He's massive. I don't want to mess that up. Loic Manura, Matthew Thibodeau, Clark Gukin, Chia Wai Siu, Joshua Goss, Thomas Huckins, Sousa Cruz, and TC was our drum major. Please show your appreciation for them. They represented MMA very well. Okay. They will be awarded the M next week when we can get them through pretty quick. And they also get a military school medal that they're going to get presented. But that's great. So our finale, we're going to dedicate our finale to those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Now, what that did for us, it presented a plethora of music that I could tap into to choose for that program. Vanished Army, a march by Kenneth J. Alford. He's considered the British March King. You've got John Philip Sousa in America, and in the UK is Kenneth J. Alford, who was a director of music in the Royal Marines. They're both considered March Kings, and they're both writing music at the same time. He composed a piece of music entitled The Vanished Army, And in parenthesis, it said, they shall never grow old. And it was dedicated to the first 100,000 men and women who gave their lives in the First World War. So we're going to be playing that. That's going to get the choir back on. Then the choir are going to sing In Flanders Fields. Let me just get this right. And then we go into our World War I medley, and that's going to close the show. That's a band and choir piece. And it's a collection of First World War songs that they created to keep morale up, because it was pretty miserable in the trenches. You can only imagine. That will close our show, and then we're going to go into a piece what we call Salute to America's Finest, which is our opportunity to recognize all those who are serving or have served. So we'll get to that at the end. But before we do that, I just want to say this is probably the highlight of my musical year, really, at MMA, and certainly it rounds off the 2018 academic year. It's the piece is called O Magnum Mysterium. But more importantly, it features a young cadet, Michael Norton, who narrates a Wilfred Owen poem. Now, for those that don't know anything about Wilfred Owen, he was one of the war poets of the First World War, a young lad from Liverpool. And he died 2 weeks before Armistice Day. And he composed he wrote this poem, Dulce Decorum Est, and it tells the horrors of a mustard attack. I know it sounds very somber, miserable, it was. Cadet Michael Norton's going to come and narrate that. He's Wilfred Owen, he's dressed in World War I fatigues. And we're going to set that to music, and the piece is by a wonderful American composer by the name of Morton Lauridsen. And it's entitled O Magnum Mysterium. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our tribute to those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, 1918.
Bent double, like old beggars under sacks. Knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired, outstripped 5-9s that landed behind. Gas, gas, quick boys! In ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling, and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty pane and thick green light, as if under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from his froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori.
Okay, well, that is the end of the show. We've got one more piece. We will, but just before we do that, there is a couple of things I need to do. The final award, it's one award, is the Sousa Award, and it's for the best musician for lots of reasons, not just saying the best musician, but although this guy who gets it is arguably one of the best musicians in the band, without a doubt. He came to the school a few years ago as a percussionist, actually, and I was like, no, I need a bass player. And he just took like it to a duck to water. He plays the bass, he arranges music for me. That piece you've just heard, he put that into the computer and arranged it all for choir. He arranges brass quintets. He really is a great musician. He plays the bass, he plays the trombone in the jazz band. And he's just a really, really nice guy. And I'm very, very proud of him and watching him grow. And I'd say turn into the fine young man that he is. And you know, he's going to go on to do great things. So Malachi Grice, the Sousa Award. Well done, Malachi, that was good. Up against some real competition for sure. And I'm not going to single anyone else out, but there's a lot of graduating seniors who could have won that award and who have been brilliant to me. My band commander, Mitchell Doing, being absolutely superb. So let's just to give my seniors, seniors stand up. And seniors in the choir, put your hand up. Any seniors in the choir? Ooh, we're going to have a good choir next year. Awesome, that's what, the Chavez. So the seniors, the graduating class, this is some seniors, we're going to lose this lot next year. I'm already worried. Okay, thank you, guys. Another round of applause for Wilfred Owen, Cadet Michael Norton. I think you find that was fantastic. Well done, Michael. Thanks, Cheryl Morris and Rob McGrath for being absolutely superb and put on an ace show. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Cheryl. There are too many people to single out, so I'm just going to do something now. The house lights are up. Could I just ask anyone who works at MMA, faculty, staff, admin, RFOs, could I just ask you to please stand up? Anyone who works at MMA? President, General? So, to the parents, stand up. No, don't sit down. No, stand up, please. Parents, have a look around. This is the people that we need to thank. This is a big effort. These are the ones that get this to happen. These are the ones that work behind the scenes to make it all work. The ground stuff, the kitchen stuff, the RFOs, you know, the list goes on. Just look at them around, and if you see them on the way out, just thank them. Because I tell you what, it's being a teacher, a faculty member of staff at MMA, I call it the zoo sometimes. It really is. And to get your boys this far, and thank you for trusting us with them. You know, we all come together and make this happen. So thank them as you see them. Thank you, guys. Leaves me with nothing more to say. This is called Salute to America's Finest. If the service song is played that is represented to you, please stand up and let us show our appreciation for you. Thank you. Have a safe journey home, and we'll see you next year. Well, I'll probably see you all tomorrow, but we'll see you next year for the Festival of the Arts. Thank you very much.